Hello there, ladies and gents. It is I, Mr. Emo Raccoon, back again on this platform we call YouTube, and today I present to you guys a quick, brief tour of my modded garage in GTA Online. So, quick disclaimer before we go any further in showing you some cars. Firstly, we're going to tell LJT that he can stop sending me text messages because I don't feel like resupplying my businesses. Thank you very much. But I'd like to quickly make a disclaimer. Most of the vehicles in this garage are not directly modded. That's why the title has quotation marks around the word modded. Because, yes, if you want to be technical, these are, like modded vehicles in the sense that, yeah, you could use programs to make these vehicles, but all of these vehicles, except for a couple, and I'll explain, the ones that aren't that way in a minute, but most of these vehicles were made using Benny's merge glitches, or in other words, glitches to merge certain parts of other vehicles that you typically couldn't put on cars, like F1 wheels, all the, blacklisted Benny's wheels, or even just putting paint jobs on cars that you can't normally put paint jobs on. So that's my quick disclaimer. I will go through each and every single one of these vehicles so that you aren't going to get confused, and I'll explain if it is modded or isn't, because some of these I actually did buy off other players, and others are kind of just, well, there for show more or less. But without any more stammering or anything else like that, let's get into the quick tour. So, if we start on the base level right here, this isn't the first car that I actually ended up making, but it's the Mariachi Tornado. Now, I can show you guys a video on actually where to get this car, not in this color, but if you guys would like me to make a tutorial on where to actually get this car in GTA Online, I can have no problem doing that whatsoever. But this car actually traditionally comes with a two-tone paint job as opposed to the, standard like 255 RGB red that I put on it. And keep in mind, like I said, this is one of the many cars that I made with a Benny's merge because it's got all white F1 wheels, and all white wheels are technically another mod in of himself, but all white F1 wheels with something you'll also notice too is, unfortunately, all my modded cars, apart from the ones that I, bought from other players, they are unfortunately dirty dupe cars, so you're probably going to see that license plate repeated a lot. Quick disclaimer for those that actually don't know what dirty dupes are. Basically, when you do a Benny's merge glitch, it's basically a lackluster form of a duplication glitch because it's merging the properties of one car to another. So because I didn't have custom plates on them, they now have the same repeated license plate, which means if I try to get rid of these cars, like selling them, my account could basically get flagged. So I'm kind of stuck with these cars for the time being, but that's fine. I'm probably going to keep them anyway just because I actually do like a lot of these vehicles, and of course, especially when you have rare stuff like that, but we'll get to that in a minute. So this Buffalo right here is actually one that I actually bought off of a player. Originally, this was actually a lot more modded. The reason being was because this one actually had low grip F1 wheels, which before Rockstar changed it so you can put it on any car in the game. This is actually one of the biggest qualities that people would buy this car for. And I got this off of a player who, unfortunately, I kind of just met him in a session and then that was about it. So I can't really, recall his gamer tag. But the few qualities that this vehicle actually does have left on it is, of course, the Yankton plate, which I actually did end up putting a custom plate on that. But it does have a Yankton plate, and although it's not showing up in the CEO garage, so I apologize that I can't really show this off properly, this vehicle actually does have the green tinted windows on it. It's just the reflections that are going on in the garage right now don't allow me to show it. But it does have the green reflection windows, and it also does have Independence Day smoke on it as well. So that's one of the few qualities that are left in this vehicle. Now let's move on from that, though, to all four of the bunker caddies. So these bunker caddies I got years ago. If I remember correctly, I either think I got these in 2018 or 2019, but I got every single variation of the bunker caddy, the one with limited supplies, the one with maxed supplies, the one with supplies that's got a cover on it, and this originally was actually the one that had nothing on it, except when I merged it to get, like the blue colors on the seats and then like the purple on the outside of it, it actually like merged the two of them together, so now it has like the stuff sticking out of it, which actually does make it look pretty cool. Unfortunately, I was not able to actually glitch on like any kind of headlight colors with it, despite the fact that for some reason you can change the headlight, or you at least have the option to change the headlights on it. I couldn't get any tire smoke on it, unfortunately. I don't have a custom horn as well, so that is kind of annoying. But other than that, these three over here are basically the stock ones that I got from day one. So I haven't done anything with these. They're just cool to have because not a lot of people do have bunker caddies, and you can't sell those to other players in the car meet. So like I said, I wanted to get a variation of every single one. So I guess it's just cool to have them. But if we move on from level 1 all the way up to level 2, this is where we get into more of the like modded, but you know, again, modded from like the excuse me, modded from like the Benny's merges, but they all do have specific quirks. So right here you have a Benny's merged Weasel News van with the red kind of color on top of it. This one isn't particularly, I'd like to say, modded, but the reason why I think this one is cool compared to every other van is just because you never see these vans in any other color. And if I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong here, you actually can't get a Weasel News van in any other color unless you do a glitch like this. So I may have to go back and test it, and if I am, you know, wrong, I will actually, you know, correct it in the comment section below. But I'm pretty sure you can't get any other color besides, like, white or black. So that's why I thought this one would be cool, and I've had it ever since. This one, again, which is actually one of the oldest mods that people were able to do, and this is one of the coolest cars in my opinion, because you don't, you know, typically see a lot of modded vehicles with like the back removed and whatnot, and it's not really removed necessarily, it's just invisible. But this is one of people's like favorite cars. It's the Coquette Classic Topless with like the invisible back on it, of course with the Benny's wheels to match it as well, and the really nice sparkly crew paint job. But this one, again, made the same way that this one was. I'm not sure if it was in the same day, or it actually might have been, because they do have the same Benny's wheels and whatnot, because these were the coolest ones to me. But this one right here, I know for a fact, again, got the same repeated license plate on it, but this one I know for a fact was not made in the same day. This was made with a different glitch, probably in the same year, but this one was made with a different glitch because I wanted to try and stop repeating like the lightning bolt wheels. So I ended up, you know, changing it to like these type of Benny's wheels, which I don't particularly hate, but I'm also not a big fan of either. But it's the Panto with like all the invisible stuff on it. Unfortunately, no invisible bumper. That was something I was trying to do, but I couldn't get it to work on it for some reason. So unfortunately, we just have to deal with like the stock one with like the removed the step stools right there, and then like the invisible bumper with the floating headlights. But it could have been worse. So this one right here is my chromed crew colored Faggio with a modded front wheel and then a regular rear wheel. So if I actually get on it real quick and just show you, you'll be able to notice that the front wheel is a modded sport while the one in the back is actually completely different. Something you can't normally do on this, so I think that actually does give it a pretty cool quality. And then the crew color I actually did end up like just putting together myself. And this is one of the better lights to show it in because unfortunately it's the chrome color over top the crew color as opposed to the crew color over top the chrome. So the chrome actually pops more than the regular crew color does in like normal daylight compared to in the garage itself. So if we move on from here, before Rockstar, you know, changed it so that you can actually, you know, call any like bike in your garage and whatnot just through the phone, you don't have to go manually get them. I wanted to get a bike in a car slot, especially because in a lot of properties they still have it where you can actually drive the bike around in properties. I'm not sure if the CEO garage is one of those properties anymore, but if you do have like a BMX in a car slot, a lot of times when you hit A to actually accelerate, the game actually won't recognize that you're moving a vehicle, so you can actually move it around a lot more than you would like any other vehicle, because usually when you hit acceleration, you know, every vehicle is automatically kicked out of the garage. But like I said, this was before the update we just had where Rockstar allowed us to actually call these vehicles through the mechanic now. But I do still think it's cool because, you know, not everybody has a bike in a car slot. So, and of course I can call this from my office garage. But it's not as cool now to have other than just the pink color on it. But that's about it. So then we move on to the modded Trevor's Bodie truck, which again is boasting the, you know, Benny's wheels with a different color on it. Of course, the same license plate as before, because like I said, I didn't change it before doing it. But it also has Trevor's teddy bear. Years ago, back in like 2014, I want to say, you actually could get this teddy bear on this truck legitimately just through like a bumper glitch, I remember. But unfortunately, it has been patched since then, so the only way you can actually get this is from like a Benny's merge, or just getting it through, you know, like a friend who's willing to sell you like a modded vehicle. But other than that, nothing really special, other than just, like I said, you know, the Benny's wheels. I think this one has Independence Day smoke, if I'm not mistaken. I think this one does, but I could be wrong on that, so don't quote me. This one, in my opinion, was a lot cooler before they allowed us to actually buy the hearse. Because if I'm not mistaken, I think I made this one before the hearse became a purchasable vehicle, but I can't remember specifically because The only good thing about this one is it's not a dirty dupe, so if I do want to get rid of it, I can get rid of it. But again, we're boasting the F1 all-white wheels with the nice purple and blue, and we've also got the modded hearse that doesn't have a casket in the back of it, because most of the ones that you find actually do have caskets, so I guess that's cool that that one doesn't have caskets. But other than that, that's really about it for that car. So let's move on to the third level, the one that I think is a lot more interesting, because it's not just modded vehicles, it's technically illegal vehicles in the garage. Like, you have, just from the first, going up the first step, you see the big Chernobog, and then, like, the Dune, and then the Khanjali tank, and then over there is the Magic School Bus, as I like to call it, which is just the festival bus with all the stuff on it. But we'll go ahead and explain that once we get through. So these first three right here were from Give Cars to Friends glitches. If I'm not mistaken, I think it was the one from 2020 that was... I mean, there's been a variety of them, but all I remember is you had to use a nightclub to get them, and I actually got these off my friend, which, funny enough, he actually ended up, like, buying the Chernobog. He had a Khanjali already, but he bought the Chernobog for me just so I could put it in my garage. And I did try to get the RCV, the other illegal vehicle that the facility has, but if I'm not mistaken, we either couldn't get it to go in, or we forgot about it and then didn't really care by the time the glitch was patched, but that's whatever. Again, same thing with the Dune right here. This one, I actually wanted to get before they patched the Benny's merge that, made all those cars down there, but at the time, there was no Give Cars to Friends glitch, so hopefully soon, there actually will be another merge soon. That way I can actually make something nice with the Dune, because it's one of the few vehicles that, while it's not supposed to be in the garage, it acts like a regular personal vehicle, despite how big it is. Like, you can drive this up to your garage door. You don't have to, manually return it to the garage like the Chernobog, because, for example, if I took this out right now, I wouldn't be able to put it back in the garage unless I manually returned it through the interaction menu. But this one is actually different, which I do like. So again, same thing with the Khanjali and the Chernobog and the Doom. Got them from Give Cars to Friends glitches. Let's move on to the final, modded vehicles that we have. So this one right here is the modded BJ-XL with Michael in the back of it, which can only be seen in the one scripted mission, Complications and Story Mode. But again, we're boasting the all-white Benny's wheels with a nice yellow, actually. This is actually not a very bad yellow, in my opinion, especially because it does kind of match the same tone that the yellow from the mission has, although just be it a very brighter crew color rather than the flat, orangey kind of yellow. But that's another thing I like it. This one right here is the modded Buccaneer Custom with the, double roof on it, which there's actually another vehicle you can do this with too, except it's not really a modded roof with that one. It's more like the modded, side over here. But this one's really cool just because of how much glitchiness there is with it. Compared to most games where you have textures like this where they would only glitch out just by moving the camera and whatnot, this one is constantly glitching out just because of that. So it automatically looks more glitched out than any other vehicle. Again, boasting the same, glitched out license plate, just signifying it's a dirty dupe. I'll never be able to get rid of it. But since this one is a Benny's vehicle, the wheels aren't really anything to boast about. It would have been cooler if I put F1 wheels on it, I will say that. But like I said, because this is a Benny's vehicle, I can put whatever wheels I want on it. So I'm not really too thrilled about the wheels that are on it. But again, it's kind of a whatever thing. So over here we do have a naked Dune buggy. Doesn't have any kind of case on it. It's the one that doesn't have the front casing on it to cover the chassis and all that. But it does have these really skinny, so much so that these ones actually aren't even connected to the rear axle. But the modded, Benny's wheels on it with all white again. Nothing really special about this. I'm pretty sure the tire smoke in this one's actually still red as well. And I was thinking about getting rid of this one, but not a lot of people do have a naked Doom buggy. And of course, not a lot of people even really have... not a lot of people even have Benny's wheels on one. But this one, which... It's kind of an amalgamation, so I might not be able to get a good viewing of it. We'll go back over here just so I can point at it. But that right there is the festival bus. This one took a few tries to make, because originally the festival bus was brought in the garage the same way these three cars were, where we had to use a Give Cars to Friends glitch to get it in there. But I also, thought to myself, why not merge it with, a few other vehicles? Just why not merge it with everything that I could? Because I was like, if I'm going to make something, at least look like it's modded, let's go all the way. So the first mod job that I did to it actually gave it the same paint color as the hearse down there. And originally I had Benny's wheels on it. If I'm not mistaken, I think this one either has the Independence Day smoke or the yellow tire smoke. but I can't really remember because it's been quite a while since I've taken this out of the garage, especially because it doesn't fit. But the thing they don't tell you about festival buses, or party buses, whatever you want to call them, whenever you do Benny's merge glitches on them, the first time you do a glitch like that on it, it actually removes all the speakers and the DJ's like deck and whatnot. The first time you do it, it'll actually get rid of all the speakers so that when it's in a garage, it doesn't like glitch out like this all the time. However, I decided that if I really want to call it the Magic School Bus, like I like to call it, why not, paint it in a coat of yellow? So I did another merge on it that gave it F1 wheels with the, white coloring on the tires, and then gave the, same yellow color that the BJXL right there has. And when I merged it a second time, it actually gave back all the speakers. And I kind of really didn't want that, but I also didn't feel like going through the process of having to merge the vehicle like twice just to get rid of it. So it does have the mainstay speakers on it now, but it would be cooler if it didn't come with speakers, but hey, I can't really complain about it. So that was a very quick and brief tour of just the modded cars that I have in my garage. And again, let me know if you guys would actually like to see my other cars that aren't modded, that I actually do, care a lot about, because while I don't proclaim to be like a GTA Online car guy or anything like that, I do actually care, a bit about what my cars look like. I just don't, buy every single car as they come out, because for me personally, you can only paint a car the same color like 5 times for me before it gets bored. And that's kind of why, like, yeah, I have a bunch of cars that I care about, but I don't just buy every vehicle when it comes out, because you can only paint a car green or purple or blue so many times. And even when you try to mix and match like army colors and things like that, there's only so much that you can do. But again, let me know in the comments if you guys would like to see me, tour like my other garages of the vehicles I actually care about, because I have like 24 and a bunch of other stuff. I even do have a few other modded vehicles that, have F1 wheels on them, but that's really all they had, so I didn't feel like including them. But yeah, just leave a comment, let me know. I hope you guys did enjoy this video, and I will see you guys next time.